Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to we're gonna look at how you can start the engines of the CubCrafters NXCub, which has been released as part of Sim Update number 7 for Flight Simulator 2020. So let's go inside and let's look around, right? So on the left side you will find the throttle and the propeller, the RPM, right? You can control the RPM to, let's say, reduce the RPMs and also to save fuel. Here we've got the fuel selector, which is currently set to off, I think, or it's maybe our 1 or 2 tanks. It's pretty hard to see. Let's figure that out later on. Then we've got the joystick with the autopilot disconnect and the pitch. So it looks like this aircraft has an autopilot. That's cool. We've got the mixture lean. Normally you would expect the mixture is, I would say, beside this one, at least expect. In some of the aircraft that's the case. In this aircraft you will find it here. You've got several, I would say, fuses which are not accessible, and then you've got the, I would say, main buttons here, like the battery, the alternator, the fuel switch pump. And this one isn't working, so I don't know what it is. It looks like it's the RIGN battery. In the center we've got the autopilot, which we will discuss in a future episode, and we've got the glass shield lightning brightness. On this end we've got the lights, the strobes, and also some fuses, and we've got here nothing on this side, right? So this is it. Let me see, did I have everything discussed? I do think so, yes. So let's go to the checklist and see how good that one is. So the checklist, right, normally helps you to, I would say, start or stop the aircraft, and also do taxiing and those kind of features, and we'll describe what you need to do to make sure that you're following the process as it should be. There's always the quick way, that's the control and the E key from Echo to start the engine quickly, but that's of course not what we want. So the flight controls are free, the ignition is set to off, as you can see. All the electrical things are set to off. The fuel mixture is set to lean, right? It says here mixture pull lean, then you need to pull it completely. So that's the case. If you push it, then it's not lean. And the propeller needs to be set to max RPM, and that's not the case. You need to set it like this. So once that's done, we made sure that the parking brake is set, the fuel selector to the fullest tank. Well, we don't know what the fullest tank is, so let's assume that we can keep it in the center. It's not pretty clear what it is, but it looks like that this is the correct thing, so let's assume that it is. And then we can go to the other process, right? And the other process is simply following the chart. So we're gonna switch on the batteries. That will also make sure that the Garmin system boots up, which contains our speed, but also our altitude, but also the information about our engine. Then we need to have the electronic fuel dump on until peaks flow off. So it's like this, and then you can switch it off because there's no, I'd say, gauge or something which will help you. So then we can switch it to off. The mixture was set to lean. We need to set it to full. So then you need to press it. Then you switch to the right side where you can find the magnetos, and then you can switch them to this. Then we've got the alternator field. Let's see what they mean with that. That's this one. We need to switch it to on. Propeller, max RPM. Throttle, open it for 4/4. So we're gonna increase it a bit. And then we're gonna move it to start. Whoa. We actually by accident released the parking brake, so be aware of that. So once you've done that, you will see that the oil PSI and temp will increase, the RPM will increase, so then you can, I would say, reduce the speed, right? Because you don't need to have, let's say, full throttle down, right? They say that you need to reduce it to 1000 RPM, which is the case, which means that you need to pull the throttle completely. Well, maybe you need to increase a bit, but not too much. Make sure that you're checking these values, right? Are they in the green level? Then it's okay. Are they not in the green level? Then you've got a challenge. So once that's done, you can switch on the lights, right? You can switch on the avionics master, which is on second place, switch on the strobes, the navigation, and this is the light pulse and the landing lights if needed, followed by, let's say, taxiing. So we did everything which we needed to do. So let's remove the parking brake and let's see what it does. So by default, if you remove the parking brake, it will already start, I would say, taxiing a bit. So be aware of that. So don't remove the parking brake like I did by accident, and then don't look around, because then you will, let's say, really start driving. So we need to find our route to the runway, which is over there. Thought it was the other way around. So we're gonna increase speed. Always look around you. So we're gonna follow this one. And let's go full throttle. As you can see, the RPM is now in red. That's normally not an issue during, I would say, short periods. If you're doing it for too long, then you might have a challenge, so be aware of that. So you can see that during the climb, it should not be an issue. It's now also, let's say, reducing a bit. What you can do is you can set the trim, right? So make sure that you're setting the trim correctly so that you're not climbing too fast. So once that's done, right, and once you're at, say, at level or are slowly climbing, you can reduce the mixture a bit and reduce the RPM. Keep an eye on the speed, because as you can see currently we're now also, let's say, decreasing speed, so you will see that you need to adjust the climb rate a bit. But in addition to that, what you can see is that the RPM decreases, and it's also better for the fuel usage. So in this video we looked at how you can start the engines of this nice small aircraft. I really like it. And we took off, right? So we looked at what the process is, what you need to keep in mind. That you need to keep in mind that you shouldn't remove the parking brake, which by default is set, as it looks like, which isn't always the case. Once you've done that, right, you can prepare for takeoff and ask for clearance, right? Officially, we didn't do it this time. And then really start flying using this nice aircraft. Once you're airborne, don't forget to, say, change the mixture and the propeller, the RPM, to reduce the RPMs, because else you will damage the engine. Here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And keep an eye on my channel, because I'm gonna make some new videos about, I would say, the autopilot, and probably also about this nice piece of instrument in this aircraft really soon. If you want to stay up to date, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.